Welcome to Psychology Pub. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more great videos. Today, we'll be talking about 10 signs of narcissistic victim syndrome. Many people may be living with an abuser relationship, yet not realize this is their situation. Sometimes a person can doubt themselves and their reality to the point of lacking self-esteem. The problem is that an abuser can be extremely difficult to identify. The abused person in this situation may not realize they are dealing with a person who has a narcissistic personality disorder. The person experiencing the abuse is living with a condition called narcissistic victim syndrome. In this article, we have included information about what narcissistic victim syndrome is, the warning signs of this condition, and what you can do to get help. First, let's take a look at the narcissist. What is a narcissist? A narcissist is a person who has a narcissistic personality disorder, which is a mental health condition. People with this personality disorder often have an inflated view of their own importance, lack of empathy for others, a need to be the center of attention and admiration, and more. This disorder causes problems in all aspects of the person's life. A narcissist has relationship issues, problems at work, school, financial issues, and more. These people tend to believe they deserve special favors and recognition. When the narcissist doesn't receive these things, they are unhappy and disappointed. An abusive narcissist wants to control the people around them. They may also have trouble regulating their emotions. A person with NPD may also have trouble dealing with stress and change. It's also possible they may become impatient or angry when they don't get or receive special treatment. We must stress that a person can have a narcissistic personality disorder and not be abusive. In other words, a person can be a narcissist or have these tendencies without being abusive. What is narcissistic abuse syndrome? Narcissistic abuse syndrome is a term that applies to severe emotional and physical symptoms experienced by a person who is in a relationship with a narcissist. This is not an officially recognized mental health condition. However, the term is used by psychologists and others in the mental health care profession. Narcissistic abuse can have long-lasting effects on a person's life. People dealing with this syndrome may doubt their sanity, their self-esteem drops tremendously, and they struggle in their own flaws and more. All of these ideas and emotions come from the narcissistic person. The narcissist may be anyone, including a partner, family member, friend, coworker, boss, and others. What are the symptoms of narcissistic abuse syndrome? Here are some of the symptoms that can indicate you have experienced narcissistic abuse. 1. A perfect relationship. In a romantic relationship, you may feel your significant other is the soulmate you've been looking for. This usually happens in the early part of the relationship. The term for this phase is the love bombing phase. During this phase, the narcissist showers you with love, kindness, and generosity. They make you feel special and loved through displays of affection, expensive gifts, and wonderful compliments. This phase is generally very intense and overwhelming. However, it eventually begins to go into the next phase, which may be the start of manipulative tactics, negative comments, and more. In a child-parent relationship, the parents may shower a child with love, praise, and financial support. However, this all ends if the child does something that displeases them. The narcissistic parents may then begin using gaslighting, negative comments, and more. 2. No one sees the abuse or believes it took place. If a narcissistic abuse happens in public, it may be disguised, so no one sees or understands the behavior is abusive. It's not apparent that one person is abusing the other. The person who is the victim of the abuse may not even realize it's happened. They may be left feeling guilty, confused, and upset. However, they are not able to recognize what's happened. When public abuse is not recognized, the person being abused doubts themselves even more, especially when those who observe the abuse, without recognizing it, say that the abused person just misunderstood the situation. They may also say the narcissist didn't mean to upset them. If you're in this situation, you experience even more doubt about your perception of what's happened. As a result, you may lose faith in the family and friends around you. 3. The narcissist starts a smear campaign. The narcissist may also need to manage their facade of perfection by starting a smear campaign to make the other person look bad. This may happen if someone begins to point out problems or question the behavior of the narcissist. The narcissist may then become enraged and either shower the person with threats and insults. They may also involve others in criticizing their victim. The narcissist is very adept at charming those around them. While you have seen through their facade, the others around them still accept the narcissist at face value. When you try explaining the abuse, your friends and family may continue to side with the narcissist. 4. Isolation sets in. As loved ones are not able to see the abused person may begin to feel isolated and alone. The effect is that they are more vulnerable to more manipulation from the narcissist. The narcissist may shower the abused person with gifts, kindness, and apologies. However, this is only an act to cover the abuse. The abused person then begins to doubt their own perception of abuse. They may not even talk about the abuse to anyone else. And in some cases, loved ones may try to convince the abused person they've made a mistake. Then, they encourage the abuse victim to give their partner another chance. The victim may oblige just to reconnect with loved ones again. 5. Having trouble making decisions on their own. The narcissist victim may begin to doubt themselves so much that they find it impossible to make decisions independently. Their self-esteem has fallen so far that they have no confidence. One of the reasons for this is that narcissistic abuse usually involves the inference that the victim cannot make good decisions, but instead, all of their decisions are bad, and they only make mistakes. The abuser may also say their victim is ignorant or stupid. However, this may be disguised with affection. The victim takes in these ideas and begins second-guessing themselves at every turn. 6. Freezing up. The abuse victim may try to leave the relationship or confront the abuser. However, if they aren't successful, the tendency is for the victim to freeze up. Freezing up may happen if the victim feels completely helpless. They distance themselves emotionally from the abuse, which helps to numb the pain and distress the narcissist causes. Instead, the victim then remains in the situation, believing there's no way out. 7. Feeling guilty constantly. The narcissist victim may begin to feel constant guilt. The abuser does this by not taking responsibility for their own faults or actions. Instead, they project these failings onto their victim. If the victim confronts the narcissist, the abuser reacts with a fit of rage. The result leaves the victim feeling completely helpless and dependent. 8. Development of physical symptoms. The abuse victim may internalize their feelings to the extent they develop physical symptoms, including upset stomach, nausea, stomach pain, gastrointestinal problems, muscle aches and pains, insomnia, fatigue. The abuse victim may also find solace in substance abuse or even overeating. 9. Feelings of restlessness. The narcissist is usually unpredictable, so their victim may never know when the abuse may come next. However, they know a situation will arise eventually. The result is the victim is constantly walking on eggshells, trying to avoid irritating the narcissist and/or avoiding any confrontations with them. The result is the victim is not able to relax. They are constantly on guard for the next attack. 10. The victim doesn't recognize themselves. Over time, abuse can drastically affect a person's self-identity. The victim loses contact with who they are by accommodating the abuser. This can lead the victim to stop seeing family and friends, leave their hobbies, and more. Everything they care about is left behind to accommodate their narcissistic abuser. The abuse victim may then lose their sense of self. They may experience feelings of emptiness and loss. Other psychological symptoms of narcissistic abuse syndrome. In addition to the symptoms listed above, a person may also experience other psychological symptoms as a result of their abuse. Anxiety, nervousness, depression, trouble concentrating, feelings of insecurity, shame, guilt, suicidal thoughts or behaviors, self-blame, physical and/or emotional triggers, and avoidance. These psychological issues develop as a result of the narcissist's abuse. Over time, it wears down their victim, making it easier for the narcissist to gain more control over their abuse victim. It's even possible the abuse victim may become so unbalanced and filled with emotional turmoil, they may lash out at their abuser. This is because the victim has endured the hurt, trauma, and distress for so long that they can't endure it anymore. The victim at this point may become abusive verbally or physically. The result is the victim feels even worse, and the abuser has evidence that proves the abuse victim is crazy. This can lead to even further gaslighting and further forms of abuse. Final thoughts. Recognizing and admitting that you are a victim of narcissistic abuse can be extremely difficult. However, once you come to terms with the situation, you're then ready to seek help. There's no shame in seeking help from a counselor or a therapist who understands narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic victim syndrome. It is possible to recover and come back to yourself once again. So, if you find yourself in this situation, reach out for help and get your life back on track. Thank you for joining us in Psychology Pub. For more great videos, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.